Right? Yeah, am I done?
Do believe, you know, Black's finished doing his makeup, brushing his teeth, feeding his dog, doing the grocery shopping. I don't know what he was doing, but I think he's done with it now. So I think we're going to head to a really, really short break just to have this swap over, get Tsunami out of here. Oh, we're just going to actually stay here, but we are going to get rid of you, Tsunami.
Nano snapped like.
Fade.
He was just gone. Black, how are you feeling? Thank you for finally joining us. I hope you're all fed and the windows are washed or whatever you were doing.
It's a long story, but TLDR, I went downstairs to buy some water. Security guy is like, your rent expired. Like, you're supposed to be gone already, right? I was like, no, we actually extended it by 1 month. Then he came up with me, did a bunch of phone calls while I'm like sitting at my PC. Hello, I gotta work. Hello. And he just stands there, talks really calmly on the phone, and I was like, I'm done.
Oh,
but I'm good now.
Goodness.
I'm good now.
All right, so you're not getting kicked out of your apartment. You got your water, and you dealt with the security guy all in the span of about half an hour. Is that what I'm hearing? That's pretty impressive, but you know what else is impressive? Game 1 draft for this best of 5 between TNC and FNATIC. We're going to see that Viper and Brood ban. Nothing too surprising there. TNC picking up the Lion whilst banning the Nyx and the Timbersaw, and FNATIC picking up their AA. I'm a little bit surprised that, you know, they're not going for the Phoenix on TNC side, but maybe they're waiting for the second phase. Instead, they are really just going to gun for that TA and the Lion combo.
Yeah, AA is pretty good against Phoenix, right, gods?
And the Sunray, the Phoenix heal is a big part of why the hero is picked. So
yeah.
I think AA blocks a lot of those strong healing supports. FNATIC usually either open with the healing supports or they go for the AA. That's kind of their two approaches to their picks. And I think Lion is just so key. It's such a good support at just having the disables, and also it matches up really well against a lot of the carries because it deals with the illusions. That mana drain insta-killing illusions is such an open part about Lion.
Yeah, Lion has been one of the strongest supports for quite a long time now, just because you have this blink instant initiation that no other support really gives you, well, other than Shadow Shaman, of course, that we spoke about a little bit yesterday, but Lion is just much superior in this current meta. But yeah, like I like the two pickups a lot. Like TA overall is just a very strong hero. Even if you counter it, he just goes jungle and farms freely over there. And Lion, as we said, sets up very well for TA to actually deal the damage.
So we see the Dragon Knight picked here. I know it's a little bit of one of those flex picks. We've seen FNATIC run it in a few different places here, but I want to know why TA was picked this early. Is it just a fear of it being banned in second phase, or is there an advantage to, other than that, is there an advantage to picking her right now?
I would say, I mean, TA is definitely a hero that will get second phase banned because you have 3 bans, and the hero just overall is too strong. We have seen a lot of teams try to counter it with like a Razor or like a Viper. Sure, you win the lane, but he goes jungle, out farms you, and then he doesn't care because he 3 hits you anyways. And the traps give a lot of vision, and in the Roche pit, and to the triangle. So it's just a very valuable hero that the longer the tournament went on, I feel like got more and more important. At the beginning, it wasn't picked as much.
And the TA counters seem really weak right now. Like, you don't, like, often in the past you pick Batrider and TA, but I don't think you want to first to pick a Batrider, so I think TNC know that TA counters are just not meta heroes.
So I was just about to ask that. I was gonna say, do you think this is finally my chance to see a Batrider game? But you just think there's not really a chance of it coming out?
It's possible. I think if it comes out later in the draft, which I don't want to see them first to pick it. They could, like, if they pick Batrider instead of DK, I'd be like, yeah, it's good against TA, but I'm not a big fan of picking this early. But if they want to pick it 4th or 5th, that seems fine.
Yep. I mean, it could potentially even come out for both teams, because it's really good against AA Dragon Knight as well. But it's just a hero that the laning phase is pretty weak unless you get like a free matchup. And if you do get shut down in lane, your comeback mechanic has been nerfed severely because your Firefly and Napalm only deals half damage on creeps now. So it just, you want to win lanes. That is what the current meta is about. And Batrider only helps to do that if you like last pick it. But usually it gets banned in the last phase.
Okay, so if they do want to pick it up, you think it's going to have to be in the next few picks?
10
within this
seconds
phase.
remaining.
But at the same time, I also think if you pick it up in the next few picks, it's probably
5
gonna get
seconds
countered and not feel very well, very strong. Because you can just pick in the bad and then suddenly he's like, oh, what do I do now?
Yeah.
A pad and life
TNC
sealer, there's plenty of
predators
options.
turn
I don't know
to
if I
ban.
totally agree that at least the meta in SEA hasn't. I mean, it's been about lanes to the extent you don't want to lose your lanes, but no teams are actually looking to crush lanes. I feel like if you look at the other regions, like, you know, Europe, NA, Eastern Europe, teams will win. You would get to 10 minutes and a team would have won the lane stage. You're like, oh, that team's going to win. I don't feel like that's happened in a single game in Southeast Asia.
There
That is also
in that,
true.
like,
Seconds remaining.
yeah,
Oh,
in
you
the
go
mid
ahead.
game, there seems to be a lot of back and forth. You know, we've seen early aggression from TNC before in their matchup against
TNC
FNATIC, but then it
predators
comes to, you know, around the 20 odd
turn
minute
to
mark,
pick.
and all of a sudden
Here
they're
I
just not lost what to do, but they just aren't being as decisive. They're not always keeping on top of that aggression, and then it turns into this out farming, out scaling sort of thing, and nothing really too drastic happens until near the end.
Tim's Mirana did a
Tim's
sick
10
Mirana.
seconds
boom.
remaining.
What's the line 5, which is, I mean, you're fine. You get everything you need out of your line, whether it's support. That's the other crazy good thing about line is it can play either 4 or 5 position, which is a very useful thing for support role.
Double ice support combo, very scary. Is that for Winter Wyvern then? I actually like that quite a bit. Like a farm priority on Winter Wyvern can actually lead to him
10
being
seconds
somewhat of
remaining.
a semi-core in the mid game. Like there's a lot of cool item builds you can go for.
5 seconds
And
remaining.
the heroes that usually are good against Wyvern are more mid laners because they're the heroes that put out a lot of magic damage. There's not many carries that dish out magic damage other than like Pyrocopter. So I feel like when you see the TA, this Wyvern pick feels really strong because there's not like there's no carries that feel good into
Fanatics turn
Wyvern.
to pick.
What about Bad Rider right now though? Boring. Actually, Bad Rider would have been really good against the 3 heroes, but nope, don't want.
Why do you think they're so anxious to pick that back?
It just doesn't give team fight. As you said, the lane is not that good. Tidehunter is just
remaining.
a frontline beast. You run in, you ravage, and
That
5
Mirana
seconds
sounds yuck.
remaining.
yeah, terrible lane. Tidehunter Mirana at the 40% gush slow on a target without boots is actually a pretty good setup for the arrow. Like if you gush an AA, he is gonna get arrow pretty much no matter what.
And that's what they want, right? They want to be able to shut down these supports a lot more because they don't want any of their cores to be enabled. But we see Monkey King coming
TNC
up.
predators
Is
A
turn
Monkey
little bit of a
King-
new one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is Monkey King something comfort for FNATIC?
Yeah, I would say Raven loves that hero quite a bit. It's fallen out of meta ever since the nerfs he received, but it's still a strong hero. The item build is a little bit different now, but against Tidehunter, it's one of the best answers you can have in the game. You don't really care about the anchor smash at all, and TA has a very hard time fighting into that ring later on into the game as well.
They've picked heroes that are very resilient to the TA's damage output.
10
Monkey King with the
seconds
ring with the
remaining.
armor, DK naturally tanky, Wyvern has the cold embrace, so it does feel like TNC has to
5
look at this and be like,
seconds
okay, we can't expect our TA to be able to solo carry this game, at least in the late game. Early to mid game, you can still snowball.
TNC
TA is going to be
predators turn
good and
to
useful
ban.
regardless, but it's not a hero that will win you the game alone.
Yeah, and there is the Bad Rider ban still. Interesting.
Yeah, which, well, I guess maybe they thought, you know, I don't know what they're thinking. I'd just be lying if I said anything right now.
We have seen some
Right.
carry TAs, especially in other regions, so maybe they're like, oh, if they pick a mid
Yeah,
Bad
no-
Rider, it's no good.
5 seconds
Yeah,
remaining.
definitely have. But I think ultimately, you know, what you're saying is that the TA isn't going to be able to shut down this Monkey King or this Dragon Knight. And I think for them, the Monkey King is going to be a really big issue. And that's probably what TNC have to look at more so than anything. And FNATIC might just be so confident that there isn't anything they can pick right now that will deal with it.
Yeah, I would say the draft is very even right now. It really just all comes down to initiation. Like if you ravage the Monkey King before he gets the ring out, then TA can just blow him up. Vice versa, if they get to initiate on the TA with the Monkey King, then she's completely out of position, can't really defend herself. It's gonna be a game of inches. The drafts look
10
very, very
seconds
even right now.
Yeah, a lot of team fight on
5
both sides,
seconds
and
remaining.
both teams, I think, have at least somewhat of a reliable initiation. The DK making up for the fact that AA Wyvern don't have stuns. The Lion at least covering the lack of stuns. But and the good thing with the Lion is it's not all up to the Lion to start. You can have a Blink Ravage, you've got the arrow, so plenty of setup on both sides.
Yeah.
TNC
What mid hero do they want?
really control.
FNATIC. Could it be a Storm Spirit? There's a Lion, but that's pretty much it. He lanes decently against TA.
We've seen a Storm Spirit come out from them, have we not?
Yeah, we have. And they won that game.
Yeah, the last
Yeah, Aqua game, yeah.
each other.
Turn.
Legion Commander.
Yeah.
Ooh, mid DK then. Okay.
There's
Yeah.
a DK mid.
Or it could be DK carry. We've seen that as well, even just
True,
earlier today.
true.
So could be a monkey mid with DK carry. That's another possibility. But I don't think you want to play DK into Tide.
Yeah, DK actually lanes very well into TA. Like, you don't care at all about the right-click damage, and the Brief Fire actually reduces your overall damage, so even the reflection gets shut down a little bit. And Monkey King, of course, is the hard counter to Tide Hunter. If you don't address that properly, Tide might just be completely shut down out of the lane.
I'm just really excited to see Death on that Legion Commander again.
It's a decent pick. It's not what I thought they would pick, because there are some answers here for TNC, I would say. Something like a Draw Ranger or
what
so.
would you have gone? Yeah, what would you have gone instead of the Legion Commander if you were gonna do that last pick?
Well, I thought something like a Storm would have been better, where you just have some better source of initiation. Because like your mid Dragon Knight, sure, he can initiate, but you don't feel like super good about it, because he has more farm priority. If you're a little bit out of position, you might die real quickly. But I mean, it's FNATIC. They love their Legion Commander. So can't really
It's
fault them for
comfort,
that.
you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, like we said, there's so much on the line for this game. At what point do you play something that you're extremely confident on that might not always be the best matchup, but you know you can execute it to a T? And that could be why they've gone for that Legion Commander instead. It might not be on paper the best, but comfort-wise, it's just something that they know that they're going to be able to execute and get quite ahead with.
Alright, God, and the predict TNC pick.
Hurts up.
Now select
Oh, I
your
got it.
hero.
Yeah.
You're
I think
so good.
The guy, the other thing is the guy playing the Legion Commander, he's the new player. He's the young guy. I mean, he's 26, but he's new to the team. He's never gotten this close to being in a TI. Usually this is the guy who's been in these SEA qualifiers and gets last place. Paul was filling me. He's like, yeah, this guy got 8th place last time he played TI qualifiers with me on Resurgent. You know, he's lost in the open qualifiers. So here he is in the grand finals. Give him something he's comfortable.
100%.
Did you like that
Then-
Ursa last pick though? I feel like they are doubling down on the physical damage, and now Tia and Ursa kind of do the same thing. Wyvern is amazing against it, even Monkey King as well.
Yeah, that's what's been out. I mean, I guess Wyvern is amazing, but I guess maybe thinking that you can just build up those, you know, Fury swipe stacks, but it's still, I think Wyvern, yeah, still is amazing and does counter the Ursa, so it does feel like it's just trying to take advantage of the line. You're up against 3 melee cores. I think that's what TNC said. Okay, they have 3 melee cores. What's the carry that can kind of punish this? And they decide Ursa. Maybe they're going to be just looking to play really fast. Like TA Ursa, the 2 best roaching heroes in Dota, it feels like. This may be a more, you know, snowbally TNC draft than what we've seen before.
Fast games seem to work really well in favor of TNC, though. Like I said, the games that we saw beforehand that TNC did win, and the other best of 3 that happened, they were only around 40-45 minutes. So that could be a goal that they're going for here. They found success in it yesterday as well for that really quick early game draft. Ultimately, I really like the look of TNC, but I could also just be a really big TNC fan. But I'll let you guys jump into game number 1, and I can't wait to see how it goes.
Prepare for battle.
Here we are, Black. It's the grand finals, TNC FNATIC. We've been waiting a long time to get here, and, well, perhaps could not ask for a better matchup. The 2 biggest names in Southeast Asian Dota. I think we figured out who Nat has her companion prediction with the TNC. They may or may not be mine as well. But this, based on how FNATIC's played, the fact when these 2 teams last met and it was a 2-0, I mean, I guess even ignoring the draft, looking at this best of 5 as a whole, I'm curious to ask you, do you think there is a favorite coming in at all?
I would say, just based on what we saw yesterday, FNATIC is like slightly favored, maybe 55-45, simply because their decisiveness seems to be on another level than TNC. Yesterday, both games were insanely close, and FNATIC just won both games purely based on their decision making with those buybacks. and the decisiveness to reinitiate when TNC wasn't ready for it.
Things unravel here. Looking at what some of these lanes might be, there are definitely... I feel like when you see these heroes like Monkey King and Ursa, you're always looking for specific lane matchups. Already you've got Raven kind of playing around the mid lane, trying to figure out, does he go top, does he go bottom? Where is he going to get the Tide Hunter matchup?
The battle
Yeah,
begins.
definitely want to get the right lanes here.
That's the Impale, he's going to snipe it. Boomy with the aggressive ward on that hill, helping him out. Ruins a piece.
Yep. Jabs with the quick fingers there, otherwise could have been 3 for TNC. But yeah, this top lane is very interesting, as I said. Like, you know it's gonna be a 4 Wyvern, and I feel like a 4 Wyvern is actually pretty damn good against Ursa. You have 2 slows, and a potential save also for your Legion commander. And especially in China, we have seen this answer a lot. Every time there was an LC, they picked Ursa. But Ursa lost the lane every single time. It was just come mid-game, where the Ursa had like the power spike with the diffuser blade, where he made LC feel very uncomfortable. But the lane was not won by Ursa a single time.
Feels like there's going to be a lot of harass coming out because it's Splinter Blast and level 1 overwhelming odds with a Bacillus Ring on the Wyvern.
Yep.
This is a very different approach to the offlane, just going for this double nuke spam, and that's going to constantly harass this Ursa.
On my watch.
Yeah, which also will lead to LC, I think, just free farming here, because as you said, you can't really contest the Ursa. Once there's Arctic Burn online, you just won't be able to reach anyone.
If TNC have a response to that, they find any ways to make any kind of aggressive plays or get on top of the Wyvern. Looking at some of our other lanes, mid lane TA versus DK, do you think any edge going either way, or just a bit of a farm battle?
It's a farm battle, if anything. Usually it's the DK that starts pressuring more once he's level 6, because he doesn't really care too much about the TA right clicks, and once the Dragon Form is up, the refraction doesn't really matter anymore either. I think the biggest action lane is going to be probably bottom.
There was almost an arrow then that if that had landed on Raven or his Sal, that could have actually been a potential kill. They have gone for that early point in Gush, but first blood is not on top. Gabby, they find the kill onto Death, who perhaps overplays his hand. Boomy and Gabby team up to get that kill early on. Do they have a Sal? Doesn't look like it, so they're going to have to bring one out as well as use the tangos they've got.
Yeah, they misplayed this lane a little bit. Like, as you said, they went for a spam lane, but they actually started to just fight them head on, which is exactly what TNC want. Like, they don't want to get spammed out of the lane, they just want to fight them. That's what they did, leading to Ursa getting a first blood here.
Because they don't have the same kind of health regen. They're playing with this Assy Ring, and they don't have the stats for branches.
Yeah.
Find a way to punish it. We'll see if that's how much of a difference that's going to make up here. It was Ursa who got the kill as well, so that's going to allow him to get a much faster phase boost with that bonus goal.
Yeah, and Chaeyeon actually opting to not go for a bottle, which we usually see against matchups like TA, simply because you're going to get harassed a lot. He's already sitting at half health, and this refraction Psyblade damage is really starting to stack up on him. Has to be careful.
His DK build. This is the second time I've seen him play this DK mid, and last time he also went for this Bracer Soul Ring build.
Yeah, it just might backfire a little bit in this high Harris lane here.
Well, whenever he can, just throwing out those melt strikes.
A lot of damage.
Radiant's
You can also see Armel, he does have the bottle, so he should win that region war.
Yes.
That was kind of you.
The only problem I have with Soul Ring is, every time you use it, you're also sacrificing 150 health. When you're already low on health, it's not the greatest investment. I will see how it goes. He's regening back up.
Yep, he's leveling up Dragon Blood. I think that's how you make up for it. You go to that third point in Dragon Blood. At that point, you've got 9 armor and full health regen. I imagine he's going to be okay unless the support rotates. He's getting pushed so low. Armel just bullying him here, and he's going to zone him away from this top water room, forces Xuan to go back to the bottom one, and Mirana is there with a leap. I believe Mirana is going to be able to pick that one up, so no room for this DK. It's just a water room. He doesn't have a bottle, so it wasn't a bottle. Arrow comes flying in. It's nicely dodged.
Yep.
dire structures
Ursa
are fortified.
fell down to 200 HP as well, getting salved up by his support. He went Mask of, or rather Morbid Mask first, just to sustain himself a little bit better in this lane, but it's not really a whole lot of sustain, because you can't really get Fury swipe stacks up on anyone to be able to make good use of the advantage.
Lane, meanwhile, they're diving in on Xuan underneath the tower here. Tim's backing up Armel, but the jab's TP will be enough to deter any chase, but that exposes perhaps this top lane. Death has to be careful now. He's got raindrops also, he should be kinky enough to sustain himself, and it doesn't look like they're gonna do any kind of aggressive play.
Yeah, this is very good though for the side of TNC, because Gabby now can life reach back to 4 with his Morbid Mask without the Wyvern there to harass him. No problem. Getting stunned up on Death.
My face.
A little bit too speedy. Do you like the scaling on overwhelming odds? Do you think it should give the same bonus movement speed every level? I feel like it should scale also.
I mean, I'm a big Legion player, so...
I mean, Legion players will hate me for it.
I'm not advocating for any Legion buffs if that's what you're asking.
No nerfs, if anything. I hate playing against that hero.
Yeah. The fact, the level 1 gives you so much escape potential.
Yeah, DK level 6 now, middle. So Armel is gonna feel the pain a little bit from that poison breath.
Okay. Break through that refraction a bit easy, but TA already level 6, can easily fall back to the jungle. Gloves, Wraithband, and a Blightstone. There will be a jump in down bottom. Raven immediately gets jumped on. Be a boundary strike call, but it's top lane where Death actually goes down. So they're fighting, having both top and bottom. They go for the return kill. They're gonna get
Jabs, no boots.
Splinter Blast picks them off. And Jabs, yeah, he's just dying to Gabby. One more right click. Can he juke him in the trees? He shouldn't be able to do so. It's gonna be a double kill up top for Gabby. Absolutely fantastic start for this Ursa.
Yeah, who already has the Diffuser Blade queued up as well. I liked it a lot. You don't want to go for any sort of greedy item build when you have a TA in your team already. You really just want to bring the pace to them.
Having those raindrops early. He's already chewed through 3 charges, but it's just allowed him to destroy this top lane.
Yeah, my raindrops is a super value item. Any pub player that doesn't buy it, you're making a big mistake. It's cheap, gives super good mana regen, and can win you a lane, as we have seen just now.
He looked to also fall back, set up some stacks. AA did make a nice rotation into this dire Ancient area to block the Ancients, but it does get dewarded, so...
Yeah, got dewarded immediately.
Yeah, I didn't actually... I guess they realized AA made that move, because I don't think they'd actually scatter. They've got so many stacks. You've got Lion also stacking up top in the jungle.
Yeah, and the big problem is, they have no stack clearer on Radiant at all. That's the only thing their draft really lacks. Because they can't make good use of the Ancients. Like, who's gonna farm them? Even Monkey King can't really farm them efficiently.
I think it's gonna be pressure on Fnatic to take some team fights once they get their kind of key early game items, and if they can't keep up and farm.
Yeah, I think so. You can already see a 1k gold advantage purely off farm. TA is starting to take these Ancient stacks right at minute 7 also, so they're getting all these juicy neutral items.
The TA net worth is most of the difference. 1,000 gold ahead of the Dragon Knight with the obviously superior farming ability. That is every TA game. You know,
yep.
I guess obviously teams are letting TA go through, and it's not like TA is being picked every game. There is a fall-off point for TA. Is that correct? Do you feel, or why is what's the answer to TA when you're just giving her this much farm?
So the thing is, why TA is so prioritized right now in a lot of regions is because with this new Dragonlance build, you actually scale very well into the late game. You itemize more into a hard carry. Like, a lot of TAs don't even go for this Blink Dagger anymore. They just go for more damage items, which means in the late game you're a much bigger threat than you were previously.
Dragonlance speed up. Dragonlance dance, I could imagine. Then you always feels like they're hoping for that Grove Bow.
Yeah, and then suddenly you have that 900 range. Kind of crazy.
Quiver seems to be the crazy good one, because that Quiver Melt Strike hit from insane range is just ridiculous.
Yeah, especially if you have like a Daedalus or just a mini crit even. You can just melt supports. This Ursa is also very farmed. He is already up 1 Blade of Alacrity. Once he finishes the Fusel, at this rate, should be like minute 12 or so. It's gonna be very big. Taiyuan on top, but Tidehunter already TP'd. They want to set up with the Ravage here.
Coming around from behind, Death's gonna be careful. That Ravage is gonna lead things off. It's gonna zone out the DK, who does get clipped by the edge of it. They try and kill off Death first with the Impale. Boomy's chasing for more, has a Hex. But Fnatic do a good job to cut their losses. Still a good rotation from TNC. Defend their tower, they get a kill. But it is just 1 kill.
Yeah, they were not ready for that. Like they thought they could just pressure the tower with the DK, but it was a pre-rotation before the DK even really arrived from Bok. Landing a pretty decent Ravage there. But now the mid tower under a little pressure. Half health already.
I want to let this tower mid take too much damage. There are some TA traps on the sides, and Lion trying to maybe set up, but
yeah, look at that
back up to get this spell.
TA trap network. I hate that. When you get trapped once, you walk into another trap and then another trap.
Is under attack.
Slow, yeah.
Yeah, and the damage too is actually pretty significant. 250, level 1. Oh, I didn't know it's that much.
Atrium bot gets stolen by the DK. Armel going to refill his bottle, and DK denying it. Isn't going to be able to make any plays with this. It does feel like the Fnatic game plan was, let's pick all these series that TA is going to struggle to kill, but at the same time, their early game has really suffered because of it.
Yeah, I mean, look at Titan's net worth compared to Monkey. The plan is to shut him down out of the lane completely, but they're the same net worth. So bot lane didn't even win at all.
On top though, he might shadow in. This is coming from behind. What's he going to find here? Walked into a sentry. What's the good seeing?
Arrow on a catapult.
Powers a siege creep. He gets Winter's Curse. They're going to look to set up. He manages to leap away before any kind of a duel. I don't think they had the damage though.
I don't think so either, and they just seem to be getting outmoved here around the map. No real chance to set up anything. DK Dragon Form back online in 3, and they just want to pressure this mid tower. Ravage back up in 40. But without you can see they're very timid.
Yeah, this is a siege wagon, and they didn't want to pressure this mid T1 tower. The arrow is just going to clear it out. This is another, obviously a big part of why Mirana, well, maybe not a big part, but one part why Mirana is popular. Instantly killing siege creeps, keeping these towers alive.
Yeah, and look at Ursa. Just one rope of the Magi away from this diffuser blade. That's a massive power spike for Ursa. Like, after that, you're just looking for 1-2 kills potentially and going to the Roche pit. You can even force Roshan, I think, with this Ravage. Fnatic should not be able to teamfight into you.
You kind of mentioned the Cold Embrace earlier, but if you're saving someone, they're just going to have their entire mana pool get burned by a diffusal blade.
Yeah. I did not expect TNC to be able to mount such a lead this early on.
Fast was Kanabumi in the trees. He's going to get taken out. He thought he was in a good spot there. They
would have been,
sniff him
but
out.
Monkey King is the king of trees. Wow, look at Jayon. He took so much damage from the side blades. Half health already. That's a good thing about TA. Also, like the spill range of the side blades with this Dragonlance build is almost full screen. Like, you don't know how many couriers I lost to this. Just you don't expect it at all. What's the attack range already?
Are they making a plan to Gabby here? One TP, they've got 2 heroes, a third coming, they're going to set up with the curse. They're going to go for the Wukongs, they want to bring down Gabby, he's got the enrage, he's not getting a chance to get off, and the dual follow-up is there. They take out Gabby.
Chose the wrong friends.
Smart move from Fnatic.
Yeah. Perhaps a bit careless by Gabby here, because they didn't show on any other lane. Fnatic did. And he pays the price for his greed, but he has Diffusal Blade finished. And they expended quite a bit of ultimates, so maybe they're just going into the Roach Pit with that Ravage now.
Illusion.
That's the play. TA getting close to Deso. Maybe they don't need the Deso because it's Ursa TA.
Who's gonna carry the Aegis then, though? Like, they both won it.
True. I would lean towards Ursa myself, just because it feels like that's the hero that can really run into the middle of things and even allow the TA to do more damage by just soaking up spells.
Yeah. Ursa TPing straight middle. Are they looking to go into the Roche Pit or find a kill?
They're definitely looking to do something. They're grouping up with basically their entire team here. The TA may not smoke with them.
Well, it's...
To go for that.
I guess gonna smoke or no? They've been standing here for quite long. And they go.
Not
straight into the pit.
But a little bit slow. Yeah.
Yeah. 15 seconds should be more than enough.
They go on the high ground. Fnatic smoke themselves, run into it. It's a Blink Ravage. Onto 3. It catches out the entire Fnatic team. Jabs is going to keep himself alive with a Cold Embrace, but I believe the follow-up damage should be there with the Starstorm to finish him off. Once more, have they got the detection that Invis is going to wear off, and Chuan in some trouble here as Blink being cancelled. Gabby shredding through them with the overpower. He gets Winter's Curse, but that's not going to be enough to save the DK. The Ice Blast is going to come flying through after
it's a dieback.
But he's going to be a dieback. And they want more. Death does not have a Blink Dagger. He may probably dodge the arrow. Okay, that'll keep him alive. Kill Roche now.
This is a free Roche now. They know there's no Wyvern for 50. And they just don't really have teamfight ultimates to fight around this pit.
Just what
Power to
Yeah,
make sure, but
very easy.
Fnatic just know they're just giving this up.
Yeah. Fnatic really need to play for these mid-game timings this time around. Like, Monkey King needs a lot more farm to be effective. What does Dragonet have? He finished his Blink Dagger, but honestly, his farm is very comparable to an offlane DK. It doesn't really feel like a mid DK this game.
And even just the idea of going for Tread's Blink, it's kind of more that utility offlaner build.
Yeah. Which is kind of what I critiqued when they picked his Legion Commander. It's not really what you want from a mid laner, but they were kind of forced into it with the draft they had. And with losing this early game, it's going to be tough for them to come back, because we said they don't have any flash farmers. All of their farmers are pretty slow.
This is the way when we saw this draft, at least, we were hoping and expecting TNC to play. They've been playing much more for the late game with the TBs and Medusas and whatnot, mostly the TB, but this game around with an Ursa TA draft against a lineup that potentially has tools to deal with the TA and later in the game, they wanted to snowball, and so far they're doing just that.
Yeah. And TA, of course, level 25, she's an absolute monster. With this new talent, the 8 refraction instances, you just have 14 instances where you just take 0 damage. And that's only 17 seconds cooldown.
Mid gets flicked on the Dragon Tail, the Ice Ball on the Boundless Strike and the Jewel.
Oh.
Having the Jewel against the Tidehunter, working out
The
well,
ring?
and a retreat perhaps, because here come TNC. Gabby on the side is wanting to try and find a way into this one. Jab was looking for a Winter's Curse, but didn't manage to get Boomy next to the Ursa.
Yeah.
For now, but they made a couple of ultimates.
They got a tight kill, but he didn't really have Ravage. Once he's up, he's gonna have it again. But they couldn't convert into a tower, unfortunately. Mirana ult popped. What are they looking for here? Nothing? Okay. Why not? Just pop it.
Yeah, I don't know. I possibly want some Here we go. Maybe
Gabby's
the
running
aggression
from
mid is
behind.
what they're looking for. Yeah, he's just diving. He's got that Aegis, so he can just go running in and finds the Jab's Wyvern, who's not even going to go for a cold embrace. I think he just knows he's dead, so he's like, not even going to bother delaying this.
Yeah, wants to respawn a little bit sooner. And it should just be a free mid tower with this Desolator. Very quick push. And they haven't even gotten the top tower yet, I just realized. Top is still up, mid is still up. Is DK gonna be able to take it down?
Radiant's middle
Doesn't even look like it. No, Tide's just TPing there.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Hitting Cliff to keep the tower alive a bit longer. Also pinging Tim's Mirana, maybe thinking they can make a play on him, but not going to be the case. And they're also defending top, so TNC keep their top tier 1 alive. They are getting further and further ahead, taking over more and more of this map.
Yeah. The map control right now is absurd. They already have most of the tier 1 towers down, only the top one remaining. They might be looking to converge here.
Mirana finishing a Spirit Vessel. It's going to be very helpful against some of these heals. It can be purged off by the Pregnancy attack, but
It's okay, you have to be careful.
okay. He's got the Aegis, but they may just try and kill him twice. The Tide is in the neighborhood with a Blink Ravage. He's going to wait for the respawn. What's the play here from Fog? I believe they know he's here. Abby is going to be let free. I think they were positioned. They saw the Tide, so they were backed off. Now it's going to be a blink in onto Boomy's Lion. One looking for the kill there. The Monkey King jumps in, so Lion will not see any friends help him out. Bit of a misplay perhaps there from TNC, not getting Fnatic to have a ward and to have vision on them.
They have triple blink now online though on TNC, so any target they jump on will get obliterated. Ursa, Tide, and TA all went for blinks.
Pick up Fnatic though. They won't get a chance to use these blinks if everyone's getting jumped. There's another Jewel potentially on the bot, but he gets the Ravage off before! Oh! Okay, no, but it's still Ravage down.
Yeah, it was good.
Still good for Fnatic, yeah.
That means top tower finally gone.
Radiant's middle tower.
And this all started because Gabby, we have seen this in the past where TNC just makes these sort of random moves. Why was he there in the left tree line? Like, there was no reason to be there. And they get punished for it quite badly. Sure, they don't lose a ton of net worth, but now Ravage is down, which could lead to a very bad team fight.
It's kind of similar happened bottom where he died too, but I would say Gabby, he reminds me a lot of someone who, you know, just won a major, Ame, where you get the really good with the occasional bad. He wants to push his hero to the limit and be maybe that little bit greedier, and sometimes, you know, he's going to get picked off like that, but he also, more often than not, is carrying and winning his team some crazy games.
Yep, fair enough. I mean, still they're in
Don't blame my boy
incredible
Gabby,
position.
Black. That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm not blaming, and I'm just doing my... amazing job as a caster. But yeah, still 7k lead. They're like in an amazing position. What is Monkey King's next item? He's looking for a BKB, but still very far away from it. Legion Commander, Halberd first. Okay, so not going for any sort of initiation, leaving it out to the DK.
Good item, of course, against Ursa as well as TA for the most part.
Yeah. Smoke up again. No Ravage though this time.
Trying to catch FNATIC out on the top side of the map, but FNATIC have already left to play around this mid part. Both teams just kind of dancing around each other.
DJ has to be careful. He could get one in here, but it's TA. Ooh. Alright, 2 hits. But the first hit was without melt, so that doesn't count.
Yeah, that's to say, I didn't look like he melted, so it literally would have been a one-shot with melt.
Oh, he has an Imp Claw too, of course. Why not? The best TA item.
Yeah, better than Growth, though, you think?
I would say so, yeah. With the new talent and the Dragon Lance. You can't quite outrange towers, but your damage is insane with that one crit.
A wyvern's breath.
Alright, well, TNC. See how much they want to try and force fights and make plays on the outside of the map. It looks like they were just waiting for Ravage. That's up to 10 seconds. Yeah, with the Ravage coming back up, they are looking for a fight. Japs is down here in a bit of a tricky spot. He's got the Philosopher's Stone to get him some gold towards his Blink Dagger, and he's just trying to farm it. But
Radiant
he's dead.
they have a scan. Radiant scan. He knows what's coming. The TA trap will scan him out. Japs is like, uh-oh.
The arrows come out too?
No, I'm here.
Oh, Boomy also with the Blink Dagger. It's the 4th one.
As soon as he scanned, he maybe should have just gone for a TP out because the TA trap and arrow.
So as soon as he scanned, you saw him like fly left and right. It's like, couldn't do anything, unfortunately.
This is what you usually see when a team gets that early lead. They take the bottom off-lane tier 2 tower and then they claim the outpost. And now they can wait for that. That second Roche is a lot more impactful than the first because it has those extra items, the cheese as well as the Axe Shot.
Yeah, when is that up? It may respawn in 1 minute, so 4 minutes max. I'm a little bit concerned for the damage output, perhaps. Like Blink, Dragon Knight, DK, Halberd, LC. DK also going into a Halberd. It's only really the Monkey King that's itemizing into any sort of damage. Sure, you have AA, who kind of makes up for that, but against this tier Refraction and Ursa and Rage, it might not be enough.
Like, DJ cannot afford to get picked off, or they're going to have complete lack of damage.
Yeah, he is so important for the team fight. These Ice Vortexes and the Ice Blast is so important for them.
Playing around their side of the map while they give up bottom part with the outpost. So if this game slows down a bit, TNC will continue to get experience lead with the outpost advantage. FNATIC maybe looking to have something to say about that soon. They've got a smoke and they're grouped up around mid, so we'll see if they make another aggressive maneuver. Do you think they need to kind of go out and try to look for that dual initiation kill again, or are they just waiting for TNC to slip up?
I think FNATIC should be quite comfortable going into this mid late game with the draft they've picked for themselves. Because they should be scaling better with this winter into the late game. Because they have better ways of mitigating the damage that TNC have. But at the pace it's going right now, the second Roche could be all TNC need to put the nail into the coffin.
How much emphasis are FNATIC going to put on contesting it?
It's gonna be so hard to contest it. And the Ravage, how many BKBs do they have up now? Only 1, right? No, Monkey actually has his, so depending on the initiation, it's very possible. This ring with the Maelstrom can deal a ton of damage.
Down Black. They get the ward on the high ground that allows them to get the Blink Dragon Tail up on this Mirana, who gets Boundless Strike, but it's going to set the Ice Blast. Tim's just trying to use as many spells as he can before he goes down. One more right click, the Ice Blast damage should tick over.
DK is melting though.
Very low. Yeah, he gets helped up by the Cold Embrace. Still has the BKB. FNATIC not looking to commit too hard in this one. They've still got that high ground wall. They're going to buy back the Mirana. Ursa, meanwhile, gets the A on the backlines. The Rabbit comes out. It only catches Raven. Now the Woodcock's command comes in. Bok is just melting on this high. Raven goes down inside, even with the bonus armor. There's just too much damage. The chase is on. Gabby with his user wants Xuan, who is going to go for the TP out, but the Earth Spike is there. Boomy's chasing with the Hex. He's going to get death as well. Boomy, what a player! He cancels one TP with the Earth Spike and then just runs for the next, which he cancels with the Hex, forcing a team wipe.
Yeah, it was a pretty rough Ravage actually, because they both managed to activate BKB before it hit, but it was enough to shut down the support on the backline for Ursa to pick them off. And that's what we spoke about, this Monkey TA matchup. He didn't manage to pull out the ring fast enough, the Melt Strike hits, and he just gets destroyed by Armel.
Well, Armel is well into
Roach up in one.
Scary TA timing. That -3 bonus meld armor reduction, and you're gonna take a tier 2 mid and probably just head right to the Roach pit. They've got the trap there. FNATIC will be alive for this one if they can move quickly.
They have no ring though. No ring means no Roach fight, unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay. And also this Roach just dies way too freaking fast. Getting what? Agchat on Ursa.
Yeah. With that Enrage after Earthshock. It's a very good talent, especially against heroes like Winter Wyvern, where you jump on them and they can't really curse you because of that status resistance that you get.
Sons the Dragon Tail is all another one where he has that Enrage up for it. Really reducing. TNC just charged down bottom. Bronze TK has to be careful about not showing himself here. Breathes fire, that could be the death of him, but he's going to see the Mirana and win.
Whoa!
Oh, I know where he is! The arrow! He BKB's TPs.
How did he know?
Maybe he caught a glimpse of him through the fog. I didn't see the dire vision, so I'm guessing maybe he caught a glimpse, but that was...
Can you see the blink particles through the fog?
The more recent pro player here, Black.
Yeah, but I have not seen that before. Is there like a little tree vision? Maybe. Must have been.
Just wasn't hidden and fully tucked into fog.
Well, you know, if it was CSGO, there would be a lot of VAC right now in Twitch. Good curse. But again, we talked about it.
Abby just goes charging in, wanting to get Raven, just going to go for the TP out.
TP out?
Oh, actually, yeah. Oh, barely makes it. Daps gets the TP out himself as Ubi goes fishing with an Earth Spike and doesn't find it this time around.
Yeah, we saw the interaction right away. Earthshock got cursed right after the Earthshock, and it only lasts for like 2 seconds or so.
Instantly, are going to be smoking down towards his bottom lane.
Yeah. No curse.
I don't know if they got spotted, but I believe TNC, you find that FNATIC's kind of expecting this one and hiding.
Yeah, they definitely saw that because they have two pretty deep observer wards right next to each other. But what can they do to stop them is the real question. No BKB on Monkey.
They're just hiding on the high ground. Monkey is just running. He figures he
has no TP.
They're not going to take off. Wicked, Ravage. They just delete Death on the Legion. Now TNC is getting jumped as well. He does get Cold Embrace to keep him alive a little longer, but surely he's going to die after with Dirt Spike helps.
Yeah. DJ got clipped also by the Ravage. And no buyback on Death, and Raven doesn't even have a TP. This might just be one side.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of that point where it's a 50k gold lead in a high ground siege with a TA Deso. Even if Monkey was here, I'm not sure there's a whole lot they could do.
Yeah, especially not without his beacon. They will lose at least the tower.
Radiant's middle tower.
That's TAs. I mean, this is why teams just second pick it. It is such a strong win condition every time. And we said it, with the new item build, the new talents, you scale so well into the late game. Even level 30, you get a free bash as well.
Dire's top tower.
Back off after getting the tower, TNC.
Yeah.
You know,
no rush.
Feeling, yeah, this getting a melee, even if they force that melee Rex and get it without dying, it doesn't maybe change the game. I feel like you go back maybe a couple of years, getting a Rex, it used to be all that, you're willing to die to get a lane of Rex. Nowadays, if you feed your whole team to get a lane of Rex, that's a really bad thing.
Yeah, and now FNATIC trying to smoke out. They need to make something happen. They see the TA. He has Aegis though.
TA though. That's not the target you want to go on. He gets forced out the way back to safety. The Arrow going to quit the DK as well. The chase is on now. Buff just blinks in for the Anchor Smash. The Quintus Curse on the TA doesn't catch anyone except the Mirana, so Armel's going to be just fine as the Ursa goes charging BKB. Death gets Cold Embrace, but that may just delay the inevitable here as he will not be focused. So Gabby's found a new target. The Arrow catches the Legion. The Woodhook's command plays perfectly here though, doing a lot, but instead they go to the Monkey King.
The duel!
He lost! With a duel. It's going to be a new target. TNC just with too much firepower. They chuck out the Finger of Death to help bring down the Dragon Knight. All right. Here we go to the high ground TNC. They are merciless as they just launch their bodies at the FNATIC base. We could be in for, you know, this feels like a
what used to be a normal game of Dota before these SEA qualifiers. Okay, we have a good early game. We get Roshan, we snowball, we win the game with second Roshan in 30 minutes. This is the Dota I knew before coming in these qualifiers. And this is the first game of Dota that we've seen that actually went that way, Black.
Yeah, TNC is very bloodthirsty after these games against Boom. You can see the draft adjustments, the gameplay adjustments, outscale them early, transition to a strong mid game, and don't give them any time to breathe with their lineup. And now it's 23k. They don't need to go for mega creeps. Well, they can't anyway because there's a tier 2 top. But they kind of sniffed it out too. You know, everyone from FNATIC was alive. They smelled out the desperation smoke. They initiate on the TA, the worst target to go on, unfortunately, because of that Aegis, and they just lose the fight. Was it 5-0? 4-0? Something really bad for them, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Re-smoke right away, Ravage is up.
They're ready to go. Blinking with the Hex, they're going on Chuan. The arrow fall is there. It's forced off the way.
Big Ravage!
Ravage going to catch out on 3. Gabby looking for a 4th. They just bought the A. He does it buyback. Not bad. FNATIC if they can keep the DK alive. Throw the Wukong's command. Can they get this arm LTA? He's got BKB. Needs to find a way to pop it. He gets the Hurricane Pipe to push him out of the Wukong's command. And Chuan sitting inside his butt. Wukong using that for some protection here. Meanwhile, the Hex on the death, followed by an Earth Spike. Gets him low. Chuan blinks away just in time, but it's the AA dying back as Gabby dives the fountain with the BKB. Can't get the mega creep still, but they're happy to just go for these hero kills.
Yeah, I think now it's time to retreat. You used everything you have.
Yeah. This, you know, remember TNC 2 or 3 years ago? This was their playstyle, and every now and then they would get these huge leads and dive a fountain, and things would go south for the Black.
Yeah, I mean, over the years, all these players have come a long way, just in terms of discipline and knowing how to close out a game. As you previously said, there's a reason both these teams are here, and that's just because they're the most stable in these late game scenarios, which we're not even in yet. We're in this mid game and they're so disciplined. I'm sure Mushi also plays a big part in that. He's also one of the most disciplined coaches / players out there, so
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
it's a good fit on paper, right? Mushi for TNC, because I feel like he would take care of their weaknesses quite a bit. Yeah. TA, 1k away from Daedalus, and there's just so many strong items coming out. Ursa just finished his Aghanim, so even if you stun him before the enrage, you can just enrage out of it now. It's looking pretty grim for FNATIC in game 1. I think this kind of draft, you have to be very careful with picking something like this, because we said they have no scaling ability, right? No one can farm Ancients. They're purely picking to win the lane. Unfortunately, they lost top and middle quite badly, and bottom they didn't really win, even though they counter-picked it, which just leads to this insurmountable lead coming to the mid game for TNC.
Yeah, and Monkey, a hero that has just disappeared from the meta. When it was that top, you know, first 2-pick hero, you didn't mind if you didn't get a great lane matchup, but we're picking Monkey for the lane, and TNC just kind of shrugged that one off.
Yeah, they were like, whatever.
Out of that.
Crazy. Okay, they're going for... I mean, he always does on this Mirana, it feels like.
Yeah.
You know when we critique teams for picking Mirana? His Mirana always somehow hits arrows. Like, even without stuns, with stuns, they just don't miss. Like, heat-seeking.
Boomy. I mean, I kind of at the story of this series, you know, TNC maybe with the best core duo in Southeast Asia, while FNATIC have the best support duo. The TNC support duo, they're the ones who are making the big plays this game. Boomy and Tims have been huge.
This is the last smoke out here from FNATIC. They want to make something happen. Who can they catch?
Knows it's maybe coming. He puts the sentry.
Oh, Tims!
But Tims actually, okay, has the first leap, second leap. He gets back to safety, and FNATIC being revealed.
Yeah.
Boomy also positioned perfectly for this one.
Gabby's running in.
Oh, well. Yeah, he's not afraid. He just goes in with a BKB. He gets DJ. The TP out from Juan's BK. They don't have a basher, so he'll get out.
Ooh, it was close on the Wyvern there.
That's, you know, I like that from Ursa. He could have prioritized the basher. That's like the second or third time someone BKB TP out in front of him, but he just knows there's a better, safer item to get, and you can always get that basher later.
Yeah, and also you don't really need to kill them. If they don't leave base, they farm 0. Look at the gold lead just growing. Roshan up in, what, 2 seconds? It's the third one. What will it have? Oh, the refresher for the Tidehunter couldn't be any better for them. Oh, Raven is forced to BKB.
I don't know if that was maybe even a misclick as well. jumping up into the trees and popped it with Armel in the neighborhood. So here we go, third Roshan. Gonna be the TNC pickup, as after this you gotta imagine they'll just go pop for those mega creeps. Fortified, they smoke up and everything. It's get the refresh. There we go.
Ursa picked up the refresher. I feel like isn't Tide the best? Oh, he has a off himself. Never mind. Okay.
Not a problem though. He actually leveled up the third point in Ravage.
Yeah.
Sometimes
you gotta do the Tinker move. Can't forget the Soul Ring before you refresh.
Soul Ring.
Yeah.
It's got main.
Gabby's just running up with the spider legs. Arrow hit. That is DK.
They know there's a double Ravage here, and oh, DJ. Gabby just jumps in looking for him with the Earthshock. The Halberd just immediately gets basically
Gabby's dead!
As he takes up Wyvern. Gabby is just wreaking havoc here. Did give his BKB. Gabby just blinks away. I think the call is, play it safe.
Might be a reset point, yeah.
Fight your instincts, Gabby. We're not diving here. We're going for the mega creeps. Let's reset. Peek in the front lines. Can't do much about this TA.
He has a refresher though, mind you. So there's another BKB available.
Blink, Ravage. They've got a second, but he doesn't have the money. He does now, just barely enough. And with Gabby on the back lines, they take out the DK. They want the Legion next. The Hex is there as well. Winter's Curse comes out just on the time. That's going to trap the TA as well. Setting up a nice Schematic. Can Craven carry this fight? The damage is not going to be enough initially to bring down the Tide. And sends his teammate going down. And Armel with an Aegis, happy just to stand in there. Gabby's now jumping into the ring as well. They just don't care about this ring. They've got Cheese, they've got Aegis, and they'll take out the Monkey and force a GG. TNC, they strike first.
What a bloodthirsty gameplay here by TNC. I love the draft, I love the execution. Can't really fault anything. They were a little bit overexcited here and there, where they made like a little mistake, like losing that Aegis top lane, but any big error, I didn't see.